coalitionradio.us, and over the air on AM 790, your station for talk and business, the aforementioned coalitionradio.us. Major hits this week from a blog by yours truly, dealing with the fact that our old pal and wildlife lover, Todd Giroux, is being excluded from the upcoming debates. Go ahead and check that out, coalitionradio.us. Click on blog. Chris, P.O., good evening.
Good evening, Tony.
Hey, good evening, Tony. Well, on to tonight's main theme. We have a very special guest here tonight. Father Gene, or as he likes to be called, or we'll refer to him as the Reverend Eugene McKenna, from Citizens Concerned About Casino Gambling, has joined us. Just a little background. Over the past 20 years or so, as citizens of the state of Rhode Island, we have been regularly treated to attempts at expanding casino gambling. We've made no bones about it on this show. We are completely opposed on every single level, for every single reason, to the expansion of casino gambling in a state-sponsored environment. Just 2 years after the voters of Newport resounding it isn't even the right word, defeated an attempt to expand casino gambling at the current location that people would know as Newport Grand or the former Newport Highlight, yet another group of individuals is submitting yet another proposal to yet another town council in an attempt to, as they call it, have a Monaco-like casino gaming experiences, or as we on the coalition call it, Monaco meets Mineral Spring. I'm wondering if Spardello's is going to do the costumes for the for the wait staff there. So here we go again, and I think it's time that we use our opportunity here on the coalition to put the spike to it. So I'd like to welcome the Reverend Gene. Father Gene, give us a little bit of background. How long have you been involved in the anti-casino movement, and was there any one single part of your life that brought you to this involvement?
Shortly after I arrived to be pastor of St. Lucy's in Middletown, a parishioner asked me if I would join the group Citizens Concerned About Casino Gambling. And this particular person had been a member for a while, was very committed to the issue of anti-casino, and I had always been involved in some social issues wherever I was stationed and whatever was the issue of the day, and I felt that as an important part of my ministry to be involved in the world around us. So I said yes. I had no particular interest in the issue in and of itself prior to that, but when a parishioner asked me, I joined, and I've stayed with it. I grew more and more aware of the problem of casinos, the havoc that they wreak in our society, and more convinced that I could spend my efforts well and to try to do the best I could to join with those folks who are against casinos.
What does it say about a government, particularly a state like Rhode Island, where it needs to derive a significant part of their sustenance by promoting rigged games of chance? What does it say about them?
Well, I think it's really preying on the people. It's preying on its own citizens, the government is. They probably wouldn't admit to that, but it's a predatory problem in our state and other states also, to be able to say, this is the way we're going to try to raise some money at the with the problems that it brings to other people. It's an addiction. We talk about gambling addiction or food addiction or addiction to drugs. The state, clearly in my mind, is addicted to the revenue that comes from casinos and slots. They cannot see any other way around it. As you know, Rhode Island already collects the highest amount per capita from gambling than any other state in the Union. The highest amount. So why is that not enough for us to say that's the end of that? We will try to get more and more through the casinos.
First of all, people should take an opportunity to go out to your webpage, and we'll give out some links at the end of the show, because I was impressed by the professionalism of the webpage. I was impressed by the depth and the detail of both the Newport story, of, some real specifics about the effects of casino gambling. Really, everything that you folks have done and pulled together represents, in the aggregate, a significant expansion of material, far outweighing any, it would seem, the research that the state itself has done into that. So I want to talk about the lies. There's the first big lie that I want to talk about is what I'll call the jobs lie. The people at Twin River were very, very successful on their last go-around because they were able to reposition this entire subject not as a gambling issue, but as a jobs issue. In your experience and in your research, do you see increases in jobs to Newporters as a result of this?
As a result, if the casino referendum passes?
Yes.
No, I think what will happen is that if the casino passes and gives out free liquor and modestly priced food and things, people will stop going to some of the restaurants in town, and they'll just move over to a proposed casino, and so that people in town will lose jobs, even as they might be gained at the casino itself. But you can be recently how many did they lay off at Foxwoods? Recently, a huge number, and they're talking about laying off even more people. I think Twin River also has had a downturn and laid off people. Foxwoods has cut some of their hours. The hours of operation of some of the rooms.
They're actually closing down sections of the casino now. The running joke was Foxwoods was open 365 days. It's just one of the places that's always open. And if you look at the research, if you're not in a resort area, traditional research has been that these places have a shelf life of about 20-25 years. And what we're looking at Foxwoods is exactly that. It's about 25 years old, and it's really starting to decline.
Folks need to understand that casinos are insular environments. If you take a walk through one someday, and you'll realize that ingress and egress out of the main building is very limited. And when I say insular, literally every service you need, from medical to food, relaxation, whatever, everything is provided to you in the casino in and of itself.
And that's deliberate because they don't want you to leave. They don't want you. I mean, seriously.
Get out.
It's obviously they're not restraining you, but they're hoping that you don't set foot out because they don't want you to forget to swing back into the gaming rooms and gamble some more. And
that's
lose more
what we're
money.
afraid of. If the casino happens in Newport, the tourists that come there will stay locked up in that area and not visit the museums, the wonderful mansions that we have, the museums, the wharfs, the beauty of the area. And so business is going to drop in those places, and those businesses employ people.
Right, and Newport remains, in terms of hard tourism dollars, Newport remains one of the few viable economic engines left here in the state of Rhode Island. And yet we seem intent, almost hell-bent, between tolls and now yet another discussion by a politically connected group who wish to impose their casino will upon clearly an exhausted Newport electorate. They seem just willing to toss that right out. From everything that I can gather, Newport's doing, in terms of its economy, in terms of the tourism business, is doing very well, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And the whole area around Newport Grand is called the North End. And there was a plan a number of years ago, the North End Development Plan, had some wonderful proposals for that area. Some of them have already happened. Maybe you've seen community college that's there. So many Newport Heights, they fixed up that area, the school, it's the new school. There's lots happening, but it's kind of stymied by the question mark that's always hanging over the what's going to happen to the building at High Life or Newport Grand.
Let's hold it there. We're rolling into our next break right here on the Coalition. Don't forget to check us out online at coalitionradio.us, on Facebook, facebook.com/The Coalition Radio, and on Twitter at @Coalition_radio. You're listening to AM 790, your station for talk and business. Manchester 65 is New England's newest live music and events venue. If you're not completely enjoying your current live music experience, there is another option. Manchester 65 is large enough to support touring acts, yet small enough for that local feel. For upcoming events, go to manchester65.com. Make it your place. Manchester 65 ProTree.com.
ProvidenceNightOut.com is a one-stop destination website where you'll discover a comprehensive guide of everything that the Providence area has to offer. Nightlife, entertainment, dining and dancing, community and family events, and so much more. Download the free app called My Night Out. It's ProvidenceNightOut.com.
Mike's Professional Tree Service offers top-of-the-line tree removal, trimming, stump grinding, stump removal, and so much more. Mike's Professional Tree Service will do everything to safeguard your home and property and is fully licensed and insured. Call them today at 401-823-7485 for a free estimate on tree service, tree removal, trimming, and tree care. That's 401-823-7585. Mike's Professional Tree Service are the tree experts serving all of Rhode Island. Online at mikesprotree.com. That's mikesprotree.com. Midday Records is a label that is comprised of local artists and exists for the sole purpose of helping other local artists find new opportunities and to help build a more thriving New England music scene. Midday Records hosts the area's fastest-growing music-related networking event, the Midday Social, books Midday Records presents shows throughout New England, releases compilations featuring local music, promotes bands through the Midday blog, are the co-founders of Music for Pause, and has recently started an artist development and management division. Stay up to date with Midday Records by checking them out on your favorite social media site like Facebook and Twitter, and find them online at middayrecords.com. That's middayrecords.com. Tony Jones here. You are tuned in to the Coalition. We're online at coalitionradio.us and over the air on AM 790, your station for talk and business. P.O. Chris, great to be back here with you after our bye week last week. I was vacationing in scenic Worcester, Massachusetts. You guys know I summer there.
That's right. It is a beautiful resort.
It's no Newport, but
but it gets by.
And it's no Woonsocket. Well, we've got with us tonight Father Gene, who is one of the grand poobahs, if you will, Citizens Concerned About Casino Gambling, a Newport-based organization that is engaged in the battle royal again, just 2 years after renouncing firmly the right to casinos in Newport. We're back again. Same place, same bat time, same bat station.
After only 2 years.
After only 2 years. And by the way, there's a cost to that. You know, the city of Newport, which has got its own challenges like any other urban area, now has to engage in all sorts of research again, has to engage in all sorts of costs, elections, everything, just to rehash the same tired issues. I will point to you to their website, a very sophisticated website with a lot of information, called both from citizens' testimony, letters to the city council, letters to Newport publications, as well as a variety of links to some national websites. Their website is nocasinorI.com. Go there tonight. There's a compelling video that we posted on our sites from the Florida people, which is about half-hour in length. You need to see this because it exposes what I call the big lies. Getting back to where we were, one of the other big lies is the whole notion that governments are going to be able to subsidize their budgets with this. How does that really work? Do governments ever make bank on these, as the kids would say?
Well, the best study I know is by Professor Earl Grinnells from Indiana. And he wrote a book a few years ago called, I think it was called Gambling in America, The Costs and Benefits of Casino Gambling. And it's very long. It's all kinds of statistics. He has never taken any money from the anti-casino group, so he's a professor that's, neutral. And he claims throughout the book that for every dollar that comes into the public coffers from gambling, there's a $3 loss in social costs. For example, bankruptcies, more police protection, a fraud, broken marriages because of arguments over money, houses lost, mortgages failed, a whole series of things that when you start to quantify